Just forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Perhaps the presence of Willie had the Panthers looking at his imposing frame.
I'm a 25-minute man. Plus. Oh, you got skill, son.
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you.
Welcome to the Take Season 3, Episode 19 with Willie and
19.
Iain.
But that means it's 20 rounds, right? Because we missed one?
We missed
two
now. We missed two, yeah.
Oh, well, I couldn't help it.
Actually, we missed three, I think. We missed three because there was one when I was in the snow, then you were Origin duties.
And then
last
I've been in
week,
Broken Hill.
you've had Broken Hill Wilcannia.
Pretty glad I was in Broken Hill last week because I didn't really, none of us really felt that whole pressure of last week. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just, we're out in Broken Hill, we're out in Indigenous communities in Wilcannia, Menindee. So it was actually really delightful being out there, just trying to help other people, putting things in perspective, knowing that rugby league doesn't run the world. You know what I mean? Like not checking your phone. You know what I mean? It wasn't really much of that, so I didn't really get. I got the grasp of last week. We're not going to comment on it because, yeah, it's gone. That was all last week. So this is how it goes. So I was glad myself, Sonny Bill, Rennie Matua, Jeff Hardy were out in the country just loving it and just giving back and being grateful and having a lot of perspective, just being out there, man. Like it's a different world, Burner. Like it's just, you don't realise how lucky we've got it. We live in the east, in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. It's one of the nicest places in the world. Just gives you a lot of gratitude, man. Like we've been blessed to have great lives here. We've got great friends and great family and all that kind of stuff. So to go out there and know how the people out there are living, I can't wait to go back.
And I'm fairly ignorant to, I guess, things outside the eastern suburbs really, but
you aren't. You know what's going on in the world.
But so Broken Hill, Wilcannia, I didn't realise that you were travelling sort of 2 hours a day based in Broken Hill to get to Wilcannia. Yeah. It must be. I mean, is it pretty dry land out there? Is it when you're driving? Is it just quiet and there's nothing around?
It's just 2 lanes, and as far as you can see to the left and to the right. It is just in the middle of nowhere. Wilcannia, Menindee, 550 people in Menindee. I think there's 700 people in Wilcannia. There's a couple of shops. You know what I mean? It is rural as you can get. And just going into the schools and talking to the young kids, and obviously the narrative for Deadly Choices is to make these kids make better choices in life, and educate them on just like foods and what's good food. Water is better than the sugar, the amount of sugar that the intake of sugar. Do you know what the average age of death is of a man in Wilcannia is?
No.
37.
Really?
37 years old.
Wow, that's mind blowing.
That is mind blowing. I didn't even know that. We all stood there and we were shocked. I was like, no way, you've got that wrong. 37 years old, average lifespan of an Indigenous brother in Wilcannia. And in Menindee and all these other places. It's baffling, mate. And just to go out there, just try and educate these young kids, and if some kids don't know what protein is, carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, what good fruit and vegetables to eat. Just making that deadly choice, that better choice in the morning. Like my little analogy is like, is Cocoa Pops or Wheat Bix? Which one do you eat? They're tossing up. They don't really know. I'm like, Wheat Bix. That's the better choice. Too much sugar in Cocoa Pops. All that sugar, water, orange juice. Orange juice because I think orange is healthy. No, it's water. Just little things like that we take for granted because we got so much knowledge here and we were brought up with that. Out there, it's not like that.
Yeah, it
is not like that. So once you go out there and God bless Sonny Bill and Rennie Matua and Jeff Hardy and Deadly Choices for taking us out there. And we do it. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. Obviously with COVID, put a bit of a stop on there, and but now we'll be out in the country a fair bit now. But it is. It's very rewarding, and it sucks, and it's very emotional draining as well. Emotionally draining because you got younger kids out there, and young little girls are holding your hand, and they don't have that sort of connection or role model, a man in there, a father figure. What I'm trying to say, father figure in their life. So they're latching onto me and Sonny because we're big guys and they feel protected and stuff like that. So it's hard to let go of that and just get in the car and we get to drive off. Those kids stay there, which is heartbreaking. But that's life. You know, if we can come out there and we can try and educate and just try and do a little bit, you know, think locally, not globally. If you can change a couple of kids' mindset out there to try and be leaders of that community, you know, you don't know what can happen. You got to start young. You can't talk to the 40 or 50-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like the elders, you know, that they've already had their life. You know, we've got to start young, and it was. You know, we're just trying to do our best, and you know, we have to just kickstart that little bit of a fire in that young kid's head. I don't know if it happened, but you just don't know until a couple of years. So it was it was good. It was good to get out there.
It's great that you could do it with a couple of really good.
Yeah,
really
and how good was that? I mean, with Sonny Bill, like Sonny Bill is a rock star. Like, I don't think people understand how big a name that kid is, and he didn't. No one announced it or anything. Like, he just rocked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the sort of bloke he is. You know, he just rocked up. He goes, do you mind if I come? I rang New South Wales Rugby. Randy Matua was out there as well. He hooked it up. And he goes, because he's been talking about it for a couple of years because he likes what we've been doing. But he's obviously been busy, been boxing, been doing everything, playing for, you know, the All Blacks, and just recently retired. Now he's like, I want to do this because he wants to put back. That's the sort of guy he is. He loved it out there. You know, we've known each other for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
It's a long time, man. It's a lifetime of friends. It's and have an OG like Jeff Hardy, who played in the 90s, who's so knowledgeable about Indigenous people and where they're from and where he's from, and so proud, and like how he can sort of, you know, really empower these younger kids into being proud Indigenous people and educate them on how the people used to live and off the land and this and that, and you know, like just the way he puts it, man. I love hanging out with that dude. Like, he's so smart. He's really smart. Me and him were one-on-one driving out to Menindee. It was like an hour and a half drive. We didn't have the radio or anything. We just talked the whole way there. I was asking questions about, you know, like, it's just Indigenous people, like him growing up and his dad, and hard life, man. His parents, I don't want to get into it too much, but, you know, like his grandparents and all that kind of stuff. And you can just imagine what was happening in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty crazy.
So who drove? Did Rennie drive?
I drove.
You drove?
Yeah. They gave us a good big brand new Land Cruiser.
Did they? Or you jumped straight in?
Shout out to the sheepdog who gave it to us.
Rennie.
His name was Steve. I said, mate, what's your name? He goes, Steve. He goes, they call me sheepdog.
Rennie shotgun?
No, Rennie wasn't shotgun. It's a respect thing, mate. Jeff Hardy was riding shotgun.
Mate,
Sonny Bill's 6'5", and he made sure, you know, Jeff got in the front of the car.
You just
That's
wanted
just
the
a
front
respect
seat.
thing.
You just wanted the
Jeff
front
Hardy,
seat.
he threw me the keys.
Yeah.
The sheepdog. It was under my name.
Mate, what about the Commonwealth Games? Just quickly, the
I
Commonwealth
didn't
Games
even know I was on.
Mate, remember when we were in the
Until
like
John Stephenson was on TV, I said, what is happening here? He goes, it's Com Games, you dick. I'm
Do you
like,
remember how popular it was in the 90s and that? You'd be glued to it. You'd be sitting there watching Kieran Perkins swim, and no one cares anymore.
Why is that?
I think maybe because we win everything and everyone's like, and I was saying to Zig before, it's like, it's basically a games where it's like, all right, well, if England conquered you, come and have a game. Here you go, all little weirdos that England beat. Just come and have a games. Thank you, little bit.
Imperialism.
It's like, what?
Where is it?
It's in Birmingham, which is the worst place in the world.
I was in Birmingham. I liked it.
Brummie, you like everywhere.
No, it was good. Birmingham in the summer.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Marco, same drop his name, Marco Pierre White. He hooked us up when I was over there. Birmingham was all right.
Yeah, name a not a pub or a bar. Name a site.
Nothing.
Go on. Nothing. You don't know one thing
Just
about
pubs.
it. I think I smell.
You don't smell. I could
I
smell
don't
you.
smell.
No,
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I feel like I wore this shirt and then I forgot about it. All right. Well, let's move on. That's it's been good. And I tell you what, everyone who is listening who doesn't know about Deadly Choices, look it up because it's such a wonderful thing. And Willie's been heavily involved, and Rennie and Willie Tonga, and there's been a lot of these blokes.
Petro Civoniceva, some Scotty Prince. There's so many great players, especially in Queensland. It was bought in Queensland. It was created in Queensland. Now we're just trying to do our bit down here.
Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. So, all right, let's move on to some rugby league, William. The big thing at the moment for me is this 1st of August deadline, which was yesterday, Horse's birthday too. Happy birthday to all the horses. But the transfers. So basically what we've got now is we've got all the strong clubs that are like making a run for the semis going, oh, Ryan Pappenhausen, we need some outside backs. The Storm, literally, they tried to get out of car. They had a shopping list. They've ended up with David Nofaluma, who's been playing Reggies for West. I'll tell you, there's only one winger there, and that's the winner is David Nofaluma going, never played finals, ever.
and he gets straight into a semi-final. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel it either. Like we were just talking off camera before. It was like, just say in 2005, where we didn't make the 8, but you had myself, Mark O'Mealy, Willie Tonga, Rennie Matua, Sonny Bill, Andrew Ryan. That's just off the top of the head. All not in the 8.
Yeah.
Whose decision is it? Just say, like, at that stage, I think Para, St. George, Tigers, imagine just, St. George or Parramatta come and go, Mace, do you want to play in the last, like, in the semi-finals? I'm like, fuck no. I hate your club. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to play. I'll just play for the Bulldogs and that's it. That would be my attitude. Like, it would have been just like straight no. I just got to concentrate on preseason. Blah, 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 done. It would not have bothered me. Like, I don't understand where this whole rule come from. I get it. It's not, I'm not against it, but like my attitude would have been like, no, fuck you, man. I don't play for the Storm.
Well, I feel like it was COVID related because obviously when you had COVID and it was a big thing and blokes were getting ruled out week in, week out because they were in the bubble or whatever, but there was concerns about fielding sides, I guess. But now it's turned into this weapon that's the thing. So you're a player, right? I mean, Nofaluma's a different story because obviously, and Pangai last year was a classic example. So he went from Brisbane to Penrith. But Brisbane didn't want him, right? Now, Nofaluma probably... But I noticed that the Eels went after both Dave Clemmer and Marty Tapau. Now, I don't think either of those... I think they left it too late. Neither of those have come up. I don't know why they've...
I thought Tapau went there.
I think it fell over. I think he said to Manly he doesn't want to be there anymore. But just say they come to a player. Like, surely if you're happy at a club, you're not going to go and transfer.
No, you're not going. It has to be the perfect storm. And I think... With Noel Faluma, he's playing in reserve grade.
Yeah.
Of course he wants to go play. He wants to play. He wants to have a chance to win a comp. He's not getting a run there. It's a perfect opportunity. Pangai Jr. not wanted from the Broncos. Perfect storm, goes to Penrith, wins a comp there. So you're not going to get the Josh Addo-Cars and the Clemmers and the big name players that you think can slot into your system. Great. No, because they love the club they're playing for. So it really has to be the perfect storm and up to the player and the club. It's not like the player just goes, yeah, I'm done for the See, like, imagine Fox just goes, all right, boys, I'm just going to go play the last, 3 or 4 games with the Storm and, just try and win another final. I'll see you in pre-season.
I know the song.
Yeah, like it would just never happen. That's why it fell over with Fox because he's a Bulldog now.
Yeah.
Like Reece Walsh would have been a chance, I thought, because of the perfect storm that's been created with Warriors not wanting him not playing there next year. But it might have been a chat with the Broncos. The Broncos would have went, I'd rather you not.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a 50-50. The team that you're going to needs to be on the same page. Otherwise, it just gets knocked on the head like all of it has been knocked on the head.
Yeah.
The Tigers obviously don't hold David Noel-Fluma in high regard or look at him as the future of the club. They're like, okay, if you can go to the Storm and, play in semi-finals, all that kind of stuff, you would have been negotiating this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? He would have went there, look, I've got a chance to play for the Storm, I get to play semi-final football, I might get in the grand final, I might not, blah, blah, blah. Can I have that opportunity? Yes, you can, because you've been a good stalwart for the club, you're a good kid, all this kind of stuff. We don't look at you as the future of our club because they've got some really good young kids. Good luck to him. And I don't think there's going to be many else. Obviously, there isn't, is there?
Because the funny thing is,
who else has there been? Like Lodge was that's a different cat.
Lodge was before.
That was just like before. He had no club. The Roosters needed forward. No one wanted him. He was playing local rugby up in Brisbane. Fair play. You got Lodge.
And there's been a few like Nick Arima came across, but in terms of this last minute,
this wasn't this last minute. This was just like that happens during the year where these players can just say, "I'm not happy here." Mid-season swaps, Naden, all these that happens. But when it's intentional like this, where Pangai did it last year and Harry Grant did it because of the COVID, all that kind of stuff, I get it. But it's rarely going to happen because you're never going to get that big player. Like, of course you'd want, like, imagine if Taumalolo wasn't, like, just say last year Taumalolo didn't play, didn't play finals and you could get him for the finals. That's not going to happen.
No.
I just don't think it would never happen. It's just, as I said, it's going to have to be the perfect storm with these clubs. And then it'll happen.
The Roosters just signed Oliver Gildart too, which I found because they've got reasonable. Like Adam Kieran's been playing in the centres. Like
is it Billy Burns in the centres as well?
Billy Smith got injured, and so I think they're trying to strengthen it up. And I guess this bloke's playing Reggie's. They probably got him for $10 in a pie.
Yeah, and he's not a bad player.
Yeah, he's good.
If you put that kid in a good system, He's a good player.
Yeah.
So Robbo's a good judge of a player, and he would have known he knows what he's got there, and he's not a bad player, that kid. You put him in a good system, you put him outside Keary, you put him in that back line, he's not a bad player.
Because imagine, we'll move on, but imagine you're a team, right, and you're trying to build or whatever, and you finish 13th, and it's better than last year, and then one of your players goes, well, I'm going to go and play for this mob because they're going to play semis. Like, if that was me in that team, I'd be like, mate, what about us? We've still got 4 games left.
Well, imagine just say, like, Paul Vaughan just signed a 3-year deal with Warrington. Well done. He's had a great year. He could possibly do that.
Yeah.
But maybe Warrington would have a bit of beef. But that contract don't start till, like, I don't know, like, till a bit later. So he could probably get a couple of games in right now. Who would I say? Like a team who needs some front rows.
Well, the Eels are looking for Clemmer
the
or
Eels,
Tapau,
like,
so
just say if the Eels are looking for an impact forward who can start or come off the bench, Vaughan's that dude. But, like, I think he wouldn't do that because I think he's been happy with his form and he wants to end it on a good note and play and end it with the Bulldogs. You know what I mean? But, like, there's people in this scenario, as I just said, that are playing some really good football who are going overseas next year. They could do that. Yeah. If they wanted to. Yeah. But they just don't choose to because it has, as I said, it has to be a very, very unique situation.
It's been, and I mean, one of the reasons why that I guess people need things is the judiciary now is like, the judiciary is just, it's all over the joint. You don't know what you're going to get. I mean, look, we'll start with the obvious one, which is the Nathan Cleary. Now that's a suspension. He copped it on the chin. He said, no, on the chin. He said, he was like, I did the wrong thing and, you know, it was a mistake and I deserve it. And no one's complaining about that. You know, there's been a few people come out and say that he shouldn't have got 5 weeks because of, you know, blah, blah, blah. But he had that over.
Didn't Woodsy give it to him?
Well, Aaron Woods has come out and I agree with him.
I think Woodsy had every right to say what he said.
Yeah, he said.
He put his hand between his leg and drove him into the ground.
You don't get off from the judiciary because you're a good bloke. That's just, you know, and he had that, he did that drop tackle where he had those. He's got some form. Everyone's
mate, you've got to be the most perfect, have the most perfect tackle technique not to get in any trouble these days.
Yeah.
You know, that he wore that like a man. He's just like, you know what? It sucks. I'm out for 5 weeks. I'm going to wear it. It was awful. You know, like he did not mean to drive him on his head. It was just one of those moments, split seconds it happens in. You know, but it was that hand between the thighs. If it was a double leg, like what happened in the first couple of rounds to Cam Murray.
Yeah.
That was double leg, but
that
it
was
just...
Carl Lawton,
yeah, Carl Lawton. But then he flipped around. He landed pretty safe. Luckily. But, like, just that one leg tips you over that horizontal, and that really can drive your head into the ground.
And every time you see a lifting,
you know what I mean? Like, you just go, you know, like this. But it happens so quick, and, like, these kids are so strong and powerful, and momentum happens, and everything happens so quick. So, you know, he's wearing 5 weeks. He, you know, like... What else do you want him to do?
Yeah.
He's come out, he said sorry, he's done this, he's done that. There's nothing else he could do, like, you know, and I think Woodsy said if that was Hargraves, he would have got
life.
10 years or a life. But, like, you know, we all have different records. But it did get scrapped this year, didn't it? So Hargraves is pretty cool. He'd be happy as hell.
So,
you know, but
tell people at home. So basically, if you look at the problem that rugby league's got at the moment is with the bunker and with judiciary, it's always consistency. So people just want consistency. So if you do something and you go, all right, it's hard to compare incidents, obviously. Like you got Warrior Hargraves who put the forearm into that debutante's face. And to be honest, like it's a debutant. Like his whole thing is, it looked a bit grubby, whatever, but he's trying to insert his dominance over a young pup. That's what he does. So you got Finucane comes flying out of the line, mistimes it. His head obviously hits Stephen Crichton's head. His whole ear collapses, which was good. Sometimes it was pixelated. When it wasn't pixelated, I was like, oh, that's crook.
But like Mike Tyson hit him.
Oh, it was. Well, bit it off. So, but you look at that. He gets 3 weeks for that, and that was basically a head clash. It was poor technique. But then you've got Big Nelson who, like, he literally picks him up and then drives him down. There was intent there.
Yeah.
And he gets off scot-free. Wade Egan's still picking teeth out of the ground.
What do you think about the whole blanket rule with rugby union? If you have contact with the head, it's an automatic sin bin.
It's red card now.
Or red card.
Yeah, it's red card.
What do you think about that? Because of the fact, just say with Finucane, like he could have pulled out of that tackle or he could have set his feet and he could have got his technique right, but he had no care for himself or Crichton. That could have turned out horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, then you could sort of nearly bring back a shoulder charge. If you can pull off a shoulder charge, chest to chest, shoulder to chest, I think that should be still legal.
Yeah.
Shoulder to the head, anything to the head,
Gone.
just send off.
Yeah.
Like just 10 minutes straight away or a send off, depending on how bad it is. Like there's so much grey area in the game right now. That's why people are doing their head in. And I think rugby union's got it right. Because someone did that in union, and the guy who got knocked out, who hit him, they waited for him to get up and get conscious, and then send him off.
So they woke him up.
They woke him up and said, "You're off."
Yeah.
Because he went in like Finucane did, and like I love the way the game's played. It's hard and aggressive and everything like that. But if we're going to keep up with this, with the HIAs and the grey area with the penalties and everything, slowing the game down and suspensions and everything like that, maybe just blanket the whole thing. If there's contact to the head with the arm or anything like that, it's depending on how severe it is. It's either a send off or 10 minutes in the bin.
Yeah.
But I think you should be still able. Then you can sort of implement back into the game like the shoulder charge. If you can pull off a good shoulder charge, it should be still allowed to play. Like unless it's shoulder to the head, I think that's stupid. But if it's an intense swinging arm straight to the head, if it's something like Finucane straight to the head, if it's like what Nas did to that kid, the problem with people with what Nas did is that he picked him up and he lifted him up and he released and then he drove down with his forearm. If his forearm had no space and he kept tight with it, which I'm pretty sure he wanted to do, but it just sort of slipped, and then he just drove. Nas is like 130 kilos, man.
Monster.
Like, he's a monster kid, and it just looked bad. You know what I mean? It just, like, it looked horrible. Like, everything like that. That's what we want to get out of our game. And, like, if we're just going to keep, like, just moving the goalposts every single year, we're just not going to get it right. Until the NRL come up with a rule, any contact to the head, done. Up to the ref to see how severe it is. And if you want to replay it 100 times or whatever, we waste so much time in the bunker now, you might as well waste time with the severity of the head knock and see how bad it is. If you want to send him off or you want to get 10 minutes. I think they need to come up with something like that where it's just black and white. It's just so much grey area in the game, and we're just going to sit here and everyone just talks about it all week. But until the NRL come up with a rule, if there's contact to the head, even if it's accidental, like I don't think Finucane meant to look like he smashed Crichton's ear off, but if he had to come up, set his feet, proper tackle tech, he wouldn't have hit him in the head.
And you can see with his arm followed through, and when his arm followed through, it means he was that off balance because it swung.
Yeah, because he had no care for his body, man.
No.
That's what league players do. They have no care for their body at all. They're trying to change the game with the hit, and it's just like it just come off wrong because he's not a dirty player. But I'm just saying, I'm not putting him out there. I'm not putting Nas out there. But like, if you want to do that, the game needs to have a black and white rule: contact to the head, off. Yeah. 10 minutes or send off. What was Nas's probably, if you look at that, if that's a send off.
Yeah.
He didn't even get, is he playing this week?
Yeah, he didn't even get fined.
Yeah.
He got a fine. He got fined.
He got fined. He
didn't get fined?
He didn't even get fined. So he didn't get fined. That looked like one of the most severe looking things I've seen for a while.
Has he got to pay for Wade Egan's dentist trip?
Hope so.
He's still got the teeth in the forearm.
But you know what I mean? What do you think about that? Like, do you think that would be an all right? Would that work in league if they had a blanket rule? Attack the head, you're out.
I agree with the attack the head. Where I think so, rugby union, what they've done is basically now, if there's an accidental head clash, then someone's getting sent off if there's no mitigating factors. Now, if someone falls, the problem with that is you've got a situation like, if I go back from that into rugby league, if you look at that head clash between James Graham and Sam Burgess in that grand final, if that was clearly an accidental head clash, like, it was poor technique from James Graham, obviously, but it was a kickoff from a grand final. Like, the adrenaline's flowing. So in rugby union, James Graham gets sent off. Whole game's finished. Right, really.
Well, maybe obviously we never really copy off rugby union flat out.
Yeah.
But like, have a little bit of smarts about how we ref the game. Like, have a little bit of like knowledge yourself as a ref. Study the game. Send it up to the bunker. Is it a send off? Was it part of the game? Is it part? You know what I mean? Like, don't copy off union.
So I think
per
an
se, but
accidental-
I think there's a space for like, hey, like whatever happened on the weekend, that you just got to go off.
Accidental should be a yellow card, and any intent with head should be a red card.
Something
straight
like
away.
that.
Yeah.
Something
And that way,
something like that.
That's
Then
clear.
so you clearly know, like it's just like accidental, bang, 10 because it's careless, it's stupid, you're off.
Yeah.
You mean it, there's intent, you're off. That's the way the game's got to go. If we're worried about the HIA, we're worried about CTE, we're worried about all this kind of stuff, you've got to nip it in the butt now. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. These plays are going to get bigger, stronger, faster, bigger, stronger, faster. It's evolution. That's what's going to happen. These kids aren't getting smaller. Trust me. I'm eye to eye with 16-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to get any less physical. So the collisions are going to get bigger. These kids are going to get, like, their tackle tech's going to get better, but there's still going to be element for a mistake like that. And then when it does happen, then you got to make the right call.
Tell me, when you go into a judiciary, so most people don't really get to see the inner workings of a judiciary system.
It's like getting, I don't know, I've never been put up for murder, but it's the closest thing to it.
You're sitting at a table. There's three blokes staring at you. There's a big screen showing what you've done, and there's literally like you got a defence lawyer. Like it's pretty full on.
It's full on.
Yeah.
Like you go in, you don't even get the chance to like say anything. You get in there, it's like, all right, you get out. 5 weeks or
3
something.
weeks.
Just walk out. There's cameras there. It's like it's pretty like it's. I don't know. I remember I've been to a judiciary maybe once or twice. Mainly, I'll just take the early plea. I'll take a couple of weeks. Don't worry about it. I need a rest. It's just after Origin. I need a rest. But like I think I fought one. I think it was in 2001. Maybe a spear tackle or maybe a high tackle or something like that. So I went in there, thought I was going to get off because it was going to be a big game against Parramatta. And the guy was like, yeah, because he was on the judiciary for years. I'm not even going to name him. Yeah, you're sweet. Him and folks, he had all these things. Went in there, it was like 3 weeks. I was like, I thought I was going to get fucking 1. 3 weeks, because if you want to fight it, then you're going to cop more. Yeah. So, yeah, don't always work out your way. But it is daunting. You know, I was only 20 years old at the time. Yeah, 20, 21 years old. But, yeah, you sit there like you're actual criminal,
like
you've done something. Yeah, like you've done something wrong. You know, these 3 other tools that are just played. They already played the game. They act like they're fucking saints. And you look at them and going, "Well, didn't you get suspended for like fucking 20 weeks of your whole career?" And I'm just like, "You're fucking throwing me down." It's that sort of thing. It's like, oh yuck. Like, how did you play? And it sucks because you got your own fucking brotherhood there, and it's just like you're still throwing us under the bus. Get some people from the bunker. They know what's going on. Get the bunker in there so you can lose your shit after you get suspended.
I went to the judiciary once and I was sitting there and they had the film up and I was like, I got sent off and then...
Makes you look like you've really done something wrong.
I'm sitting there. And
even when I was like, oh, no, that was all right. You're looking at yourself on the TV there and you're just like, you know, they look at your reaction shit like that. It's like, oh, shit, I think I can get suspended now.
Well, I was sitting there and they're showing the footage and then this bloke, like one of my teammates, comes from behind and just kicks this bloke fair in the head and his eye opens straight up and they just look at me and I was like, "I'm number 4." And they went, "Dismissed." And I went, "See ya." That was it. I was like, "Why am I here?"
It's the biggest waste of time too.
All right, so the coaches, William, tell me.
Is Noddy offered? Is Noddy going to get the head coaching job?
He's no longer now going to get the first interim coach sacked. So he's back on. But Mick Potter. Now, the Dogs are winning and winning well and looking good.
Playing well.
They are playing well. They're playing as a team. How is Mick Potter not in the conversation for some of these jobs? And let me tell you, Holbrook has to be on thin ice at this point. And Adam O'Brien did himself no favours. Did you see that on the weekend when he did that post-match press conference and he basically said, "I've been to 4 grand finals, I know."
He has?
Yeah, well, I mean, as a coach or an assistant coach.
Does that even count?
Well, that's what he made it sound like it did. It was a stupid thing to say.
I thought Craig Bellamy was the head coach.
Yeah, other people were the head coach, clearly not him. But it's funny because I look at that now and I go, if you're in the dressing room and you're basically saying as a coach, "I know what I'm doing," it's the player's fault. That's how it comes across.
Oh no!
So is Mick Potter? Is Mick Potter? He would have to be. I mean, you've had.
Potsy's good, mate. He's really good. Like he has that sort of father figure role, a bit of seniority. You know what I mean? Like I think he's like mid-50s. You know what I mean? Been around the game, highly respected as a player. Won the Dally M. Won a couple of competitions. Was one of the best in his position in the 80s. I don't think people really give him credit for what a great player Potsy was. And he's just been the perfect man for this time. You know, like an interim coach comes in, has that sort of, a little bit serious, takes, wants intensity, wants all these, all these little things, holds people accountable. And that's, that's what they needed probably at that time. And they're just coming out and they're just playing free football. Yeah. It's like, the restraints are just being let off and there's no pressure on these kids. I don't think they can possibly make the 8. Unless every team loses and they win, which I doubt what's going to happen. But he's done a great job, man. And you know what? He's not doing himself any harm if he wants the coaching job up at the Titans or... how many other jobs are there going to be?
Well, there's the Knights now.
The Knights? So he's going to be under the pump.
O'Brien's he'd be under the pump.
What's that, 3 years now with a roster with six or seven rep players on there?
Yeah.
And I think one finals appearance. No Ponga for the rest of the year. It's going to be hard. That's a quick way to lose the players group, but
yeah, I agree.
Say that shit.
Yeah. It's literally just saying it's their fault.
Like I don't listen to press conferences like you, but if that was me playing in the team and I heard that shit from a coach, I'm like, fuck you. Straight up.
Straight up.
And if you're one of the leaders in the team, man, you could just...
Mate,
smart, man. Not smart.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt, maybe it came across wrong, but like he was trying to say, but still, it's the first thing that headlined.
Yeah, just like... And players don't even give a shit. If it come out of your mouth, it come out of your mouth. You said it.
Well, I'll tell you another funny thing, Will. So Eddie Jones, there's been a few, like a lot of these.
Who's he coaching now? England, eh?
He's coaching England. So Michael Checker is coaching the
Lebanon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coaching Lebanon the World Cup because they grew up playing rugby league, loving rugby league. Randwick Rugby has always had an affinity with South Sydney.
Got the great Robbie Farah next to him. You're fine.
And then Eddie Jones has said he'd love to come and coach because he's got Anthony Seibold on his. He must be going, geez, I could do better than this bloke. But he's got Eddie.
He's got to be someone smarter than Seeves.
Is this bloke coach first grade? But he's sitting there going, well, I'd love to come in. I mean, Alan Jones came in and coached rugby. It'd be interesting to see this crossover now because anyone who thinks the two games aren't similar and
they're idiots.
And anyone who goes, rugby unions, they're both.
You can't tell me all you got to do is be a good man manager, understand egos, characters. And have some really good assistant coaches around you. You can't get the job done.
Yeah.
Eddie Jones could get the job done.
For sure.
Because I know he's that dude.
Yeah.
He has that respect from everybody in the whole rugby league and union world. I'd love to see Eddie Jones come over.
So would I. Be great. I love watching those things.
I love Eddie Jones. I've had a couple of meetings in back in the day.
Oh, that's right.
We trying to chase him for the Wallabies.
That's right.
Yeah, he's always had a great relationship with him. Be good to see someone else, like a fresh face like that.
Yeah.
Big name in rugby.
Yeah, he's huge.
I like his voice.
I'll tell you, Mac, he does the best. And Morgan Tiranui does it. Morgs does a terrific Eddie Jones impression. One last thing, William.
Do you reckon you go right in league?
Yeah, I do. He's a smart man.
Because as I said, he is a smart man. He understands the game. It's not like he's a union coach that only knows union. He understands the game. He understands rugby league.
And he's mellowed a lot. Like back in the day, a lot of blokes that I know that played under him, they were sort of the mind games he used to play and
bit of Brian Smith about him.
Yeah, there was not anymore now.
Yeah, but I don't think it as crazy as Brian Smith. I think he's
Oh, what about
a little bit more to your face?
I'll give you an Eddie Jones story. He had one player who's who I won't name him on here, but and it was just before the 2003 World Cup. And Eddie Jones, they had a training session, they had a video session, and they're watching the game, and he picks this bloke out and he goes, "That was the worst performance in an Australian jersey I've ever seen. You are." He goes, "In fact, I'm not going to do it here. Get to my office." So they finish the video session. He calls him into his office and he goes, "That's the worst performance." He goes, "You're embarrassing. You should never assume to play another game for the Wallabies ever." So this bloke's just going, "Oh my God.
Fucking awesome.
My career's done." Right? They've announced the team the next day and he's a first name read out.
What?
He goes, what? He goes, did it work?
I know who you're talking about.
He goes, did it work? He goes, you've just destroyed my confidence. He goes, I haven't slept. I was packing my bags.
My God.
I was like, that's
way worse than Brian Smith.
That's heavy.
Never
Anyway,
seen him.
I don't think he does that anymore. Just quickly, William. Victor Radley, the eastern suburbs,
Playing some good football, Victor.
playing some good football. He just got fined for that little dressing room where he was feeding the chickens next to Joseph Suwali.
Fuck's sake.
And it's in the dressing room. Tell me,
Thank God there wasn't anything around when. I mean, I just don't think it was.
have we lost
When
our
I was
sense of
playing,
humour?
when I was playing this shit, they used to go on like just say
100%.
like with those like just immature dick jokes.
Yeah.
Like that's what a whole NRL, the whole NRL fucking roster does.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be around like the Bulldogs in the in the whole 2000s. Like
maybe.
the amount of bullshit it's just funny to us, man. I don't know if it's funny. It's funny to dudes.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. You got in trouble for that?
You got in trouble. $5,000 fine.
$5,000.
Yeah, $5,000. $5,000.
That's a lot of money, man.
We've all lost our sense
What
of
did he
humour.
do? He just what if Proctor
Oh, I
got
bet
done
the vape.
for vape?
Yeah, the vape. That was just dumb though. That's like.
But didn't he film himself
Yeah, put on Instagram.
and then put on IG?
yeah. IG. That's
Oh, is that Instagram? Sorry,
IG.
sorry. I abbreviate that shit now. I'm so good on
so
it.
cool. Influencer.
Did he? Yeah. I mean, that wasn't smart. I don't give a fuck if you vape. You can do what you want.
But just
I
don't
mean,
do it at half
if you're gonna vape in the toilet, but don't film it.
Don't film it.
Just blow it down. What are you doing, son? Yeah, I think that was. I mean, that had to be strike 3. You know what I mean? You don't get sacked off that. I know they've been off proc for a little bit, yeah, that was pretty silly. Well, unless he wanted to really get out of his contract and he had somewhere else to go.
He's going straight to Ibiza.
Nice one.
All right, so this week it's actually nice to be back in because Origin's finished and everything's done now. Now it's the run.
Yeah.
It's the run to the semis, William.
Told you last time. Footy picks up.
Some
Great games.
So this round, there's some really good games this round actually. So the Roosters are playing the Broncos on Thursday night at the worst venue in the world to watch sport at the SCG.
Cricket ground.
But that's over now because the new one's ready
Only
to go.
if Justin Hams, if you've been to his bars.
The chicken burgers are all right, actually. I'll tell you.
I bought a
chicken burgers are
martini
all right.
espresso for $24
At the footy.
It was my shout to get some espressos. 6 blokes.
Oh,
We had a big day, mate.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
Do they serve espresso martinis at the football?
Yes. At Hems's Hems's little bit.
Wow.
And it was my shout. Get espressos. I'm like, fuck, all right. $180. Like,
And
what?
then you sit and the blokes behind you sitting there while
And
they're
it's like
making
this.
them.
And this. Mine went like that.
Yeah,
Done.
Gone.
I drank 2.
Of course you two, please. So the Roosters they were pretty average last week against Manly, but
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, before the bullshit that happened with Manly, they were still pretty impressive.
Manly were good.
They were all right.
But the Roosters weren't. Is my point.
60% completion rate.
Yeah,
you're not
it's
going to
awful.
beat. You are not going to beat the Titans.
And you're certainly not going to beat the Broncos, who are definitely the
235.
yeah. Well, they got beat by West, so that's
Yeah, but
sort
who
of
cares?
yeah. Well, they care.
Do they, but?
Probably not. Probably not. They're still in the
That's
top
always
4.
a good game.
Yeah,
that
always.
is always a good game.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on that?
I think the Roosters will win. I think that
I think they've got a lot more to play for, so
They
I'm
do.
going to go there.
the Storm Titans. Storm
Titans,
needs
650.
Titans. Yeah. Titans are basically
Titans
paying.
need a new halfback, a 9, 6.
Well, they've signed Foreign for next year, and they've
Voz
signed
will be their best signing.
Verrills I
Since
think,
Chris Walker.
Yeah.
Texas. Shout out to Texas. Love you, mate.
They've
Voz is good, mate.
he's unreal. He's played unreal
He's
this
been
year.
playing outstanding.
And the Eagles are probably going to let him go because Schuster wants to play 6 because his manager said so.
Yeah, but that Sexton kid, man, just
Pressure.
not sold on that kid.
Pressure.
Not sold. And who's a fullback? You got to have
Brimson.
that.
Oh, now
I
they got
like
Jaden Campbell.
Brimson, but what do you do with Jaden Campbell? We can't play him off the bench for 20 minutes. He's not going to change the game. He needs to be out there for 80 to make an impact.
Yeah, and
I
you
rate
play
him.
at
I rate
1.
him highly.
So then do you play 4? I mean, do you play?
I play him
4
at
and
7.
Play.
Do what Preston did.
Yeah.
1 to 7, 7 to 1. You can play both. The kid can just play footy.
Manly versus the Eels. Manly are favourites. There you go. Eels just beat the Panthers, hey? Moses is out. That's right.
Is that a bigger loss than Cleary? Yeah. Reckon?
Well,
is Cleary and Luai out?
Yeah.
What's Luai done?
He injured his something.
Don't think, Henry. That's your job.
He injured his...
I know. Did he do his finger? Moses did his finger.
He injured his fingers doing...
West side.
He's got ligament
or dancing
damage.
with these fucking boom boxes that he was doing on Instagram.
He's got ligament damage.
He makes me funny. He makes me laugh, man, on Insta. Those young kids don't give a fuck.
I reckon the difference is that Sean O'Sullivan has been, like, he's been really good for Penrith, whereas, you know, poor old Jacob Arthur, he runs on and he gets booed because he's the coach's son. That's, you know, it's a lot of pressure on him. If they lose to Manly, then Jacob Arthur will need...
Oh, they're going to lose because it's at Brookie.
It's at Brookie.
4 Pines Brookie.
4 Pines. Lotto Land.
You
picked Eels. You picked Eels.
Did I? No, I'm changing.
I thought you might. There we go. You changed your
mind.
I
didn't know old Moses was playing. Not playing. Rabbits and Warriors.
Next.
Yeah, God.
Rabbitohs, they...
Mate, does that prove how good Cronulla are?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Rabbitohs
but they had the chance of Latrell don't miss 2 or 3.
Miss 3.
Man.
They were all to the left,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that could have been, that was, you know, obviously anyway, but like,
was his boot.
I'm not going off the Rabbits and the run that they're on.
He had his boot on the wrong foot, I think. Then we got the Panthers, Raiders. The Panthers.
It's a good bet.
Do you know what, though? The Panthers without both half, like, who's going to, that Kurt Falls will probably play half 5'8". He goes all right, but they're no Cleary and Luai. He's taking out the Origin halves.
It's a
big loss.
It's a massive loss. It's huge. So who's going to play 7?
Sean O'Sullivan's
been decent, but
then
usually he's had like Luai to take over.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Who's Kurt Falls? Is he all right?
He played a couple of games, I think. Oh, look, I mean, anyone that comes through that Panthers system. There you go.
Well, you don't know. They've still got a star. The difference is they've got these left side back rowers and right side back rowers, but the ball gets to them with perfect precision.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So O'Sullivan's still, there's question marks all over O'Sullivan's still and this other kid. Man.
They can be running. I
reckon Canberra will get
them. Canberra to
local derby, Saints and Sharks. That'd be good.
No,
those Dragons just
can't play. Can't play after June.
Ben Hunt was outstanding defensively in Origin and all year, and he just got towed up on the weekend by that young kid Nanai.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How good is he going? You know what?
That's love funny. Him.
It's funny, you know, before he went into Origin, I was like, I think he's
Does he just score tries off kicks?
Yeah, he's a bit
now
young.
He's hitting out balls and out ins and like, oh my God, he's got everything.
Origin.
He's the best back row in the comp.
He's gone from Origin and he's gone, do you know what? Now I've seen what the next level is like.
Best. Now I'm part of it.
I can do this.
But he's getting early ball. He can skip to your outside. He can burn you off his right, left palm. He's got the skills, flick passes, hits like a truck. 19.
I think he needs to be sitting next to Mick Potter at the Dally M's because Mick Potter's getting interim coach of the year, and
he'll get back row of the year.
You reckon back rower or rookie?
Oh, jeez.
He'll definitely get rookie, but he could probably get back rower.
Who else is going to get back rower?
And then you could
go through the back row of the year. There hasn't been that many standouts.
Kickout's been good.
Kickout get it. Yeah. They pick 2 now.
Do they?
Yeah. Bulldogs Cowboys. I'll be up there in Bundaberg.
Yeah, Bundaberg.
Holding their first ever NRL game for 2 competition points. They've had some trials, but this is the first game they're ever going to have up here. What a beautiful game to have.
You went up there
and Cowboys.
I
was up there a couple of weeks ago with the great Terry Lamb. We had a good couple of days up there. Bit of Bundy rum, which I hate. I just lied to you guys at the distillery, just trying to say, yeah, well, this is great. This is great. It's my, you know that. It's my worst fucking drink. No. But they did have whatever the top shelf Bundy was on ice. I don't know what it was. I think it was like $250 a bottle. That was all right.
Oh,
but that is not served in fucking old
OP at the Caxton.
Hey, it's not. It ain't served just down at Randwick Pub or something like that. You know, like
no. The old
down
champagne.
The Swallows or Chloe Hotel that gives you the OP rum, makes you go crazy, Queenslanders.
The old sugarcane champagne. Stay away from it.
I do not like that. But I think it'll be a great game. I'm looking forward to Pangai Jr. and Taumalolo.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that game. I think Pangai's prime for a big game.
Yeah,
I think he's a little bit off last week. I think he was saving himself for this week.
They've
I
dropped
know-
his minutes a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, they just want, I think he's
Impact.
just a little bit off. I think he's been carrying a little bit of a back injury for the last couple of weeks. So just trying to sort of manage that. So if he's going to get that first 25 minutes, I want it to be ballistic because he can tear a whole team apart by himself if he's on. So it's going to be good there because I reckon they're the Premier. I think they are one of the best teams in the comp, the Cowboys.
Tigers, Knights, Campbelltown Sports Stadium. Oh, actually, here's the thing, Will. I went to I was at Finn played footy out at
Seatown?
Belfield, and I drove past Belmore. I'd never seen it before.
Did you see the statue of me?
I wonder where it was.
No,
I said to Finn, I go, there should be a statue of Will.
They must have just taken it down just for that day.
He goes, we should go and watch an NRL game. I said, they don't play NRL games here, mate.
They do. They're going to
they
do it
did,
next
yeah,
year.
they
They're going to start. Well, next year, I'll take little Huckleberry Finn and yourself out there.
Campbelltown.
I'll get you some decent tickets.
Thank
I've got
you.
some pool there.
I need a box with free.
Oh, you get a box.
Campbelltown Sports Stadium. Good on Campbelltown.
Seatown, good on yous. What about that? $1.55, $2.45.
How good's Adam Dewey going? He's
He's a
just
good player,
such a good player.
He carved,
He is such a good player.
Brooks played good.
No, he didn't play.
No.
Yeah,
It was just a question.
He played- he
I
played-
said, did
played
Brooks?
good.
I said, did Brooks play good?
He played good on the PlayStation.
Willie's Big Boys.
All right, the big boys have been at it again. Same usual faces. They've been killing it. I think. Am I going to go 3-2-1 or 1-2-3?
Go 2-1-3.
I think because of the 1 point, because Joseph Tapine, he is I'm just trying to go back to last week. Because they played the Titans, I expect him to do what he did. Like he's him and Big Papa. I think they're the two best props in the game. But because he played against the Titans, and I rate the Titans pack, but they're just not playing as a pack. So he ran right. He ran about 180 metres, set up some beautiful tries, scored one himself. He was just outstanding. So he got 1 point. 2 points goes to my boy Jason Taumalolo because I rate St George's pack. I still do. They got some big boys. They got Tarek Sims. They got the other big prop Lowry. They got DeBellin. They got these guys that just they hit hard. They're not a bad pack. You know what I mean? So he gets 2 votes because he just ran. He was just making line breaks whenever he wanted to. The guy coming out of yardage when everyone lines up on him, and you know you're a tank when you can just do a 25, 30 metre run. It's just like, and it's in the first 10 minutes. You know, you're expected to hit that bloke. 3 points, my big boy. Only because the Panthers, even though they were down, Junior Paulo, they still had their forward pack on there. You know, the Panthers still had their forward pack. They had to work extra hard, but to run 180 metres in about 44 minutes was outstanding. So, well done to you big boys out there. Leaderboard. In third position, Campbell Gillard, Talakai's still up there. Payne Haas and Josh Papali all on 8 points. 13 points, Fisher Harris and Junior Paulo. And out on 16 is the biggest boy, Jason Taumalolo. Killing it. So, you know, he as I said before, if he didn't get injured and we had Willie's big boys like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, he was getting it every year. Every year.
All right, well, we didn't do it last week, but the week before my bet won. So I'd just like to bask in the glory of my bet from a couple of weeks ago. How much did I win, Henry? $400. So there you go.
Sweet.
So we're getting respectable now for the junior clubs. We are up to close to $1,800. It's $1,729.
Right.
So I feel that I probably didn't put enough time into it this week. I'm not going to lie. So I've gone. When I say I didn't put any time into it, I literally did not put any time into it at all. So I've gone Australia in the rugby to cover 6.5 against the Argentinians, into the Roosters 1-12 because that'll be a tight game, and the Rabbitohs to bounce back against whoever they're playing.
That looks like a lot of thought.
Warriors.
There's no anytime try scorer, that's all.
No, because I can't ever get one.
Just pick a name.
And just pick a
Bet
name.
he scores. Just go like that.
All right, so I'm going to go anytime try scorer.
Just whatever comes to your head.
Taylor May.
Ha! Right. That's
All right.
good.
So if we'll add that in, I'll just find out what that would be. So that's $8. William.
Yeah, you can.
I'll read it. So we've gone, as a group, whoever.
We are collective.
Bobby. Sea Eagles head-to-head.
Because you know when you won.
We all won.
We won.
Everyone but Craig. I hate him. The Souths versus Warriors over 43.5 to be scored. That should be a try-fest. The Raiders head-to-head, and then Sharks Dragons to be not a try-fest and under 41 and a half. That's a good bet because the Dragons' defence is usually pretty good, and so is the Sharks, miserly. And then the producer has gone Easts, Para, Souths, and the Panthers all head-to-head for $6. Yours paying $15.
We could get up there. We could have a decent weekend.
I'm hopeful. I'm
always hopeful.
Very hopeful. In terms of the tips,
I just get disappointed.
Life's disappointing
because of Bobby.
Let's put a name on it.
Not my bets.
Let's put a name on it. The producer.
Otherwise, we'd be losing by way more.
No, but at least we'd get those 97 leg multis with 7 billion. So, do you want to read your tips out?
What did I do?
The producers.
So the Bronx, Storm, Eels, Rabbits, Raiders, Sharks, Bulldogs, and Tigers. I've gone.
Yeah, so loyal to the Bulldogs. And then we've got the producers still trying to claim an extra point.
No way.
No,
Get off.
I've taken that off. So
Henry.
I've gone Roosters, Storm, Eels, South Panthers, Sharks, Cowboys, Tigers, and he's gone the Raiders instead.
You don't even want to read it out.
Well. All right. So here we'll go to the Twitter questions because there's been a few for you this week. All right. Where are we? Thoughts on Nas not getting charged, or should Wagegan's teeth be charged instead? That's from Toddy G. We've covered that. The teeth. Oh,
I don't know. Did we cover it? Should he be in charge? What do you think?
I think he should have.
Well, for what? Just like, what would it be? Like excessive force?
Breaking a bloke's face. Well, I don't know. Was there head contact? I mean, I
It
guess
was
you
elbow
can't
to the
really.
head. I mean, like it was excessive force. I think like that's something that should be a charge if it's not.
4 weeks to the groundskeeper for cutting the grass too long. That sounds fair. All right, then we have got, he's also said that he doesn't see how Nelson didn't get charged, so we've covered that. Guy, Adelaide Ram. I love Adelaide Rampage.
Yeah,
good on
he's
you,
good.
mate. Tell us more about your trip to Wilcannia, Menindee and Broken Hill, which we did. Where are we? There's another couple there that I won't bother with, and...
Give me something.
There we go. You've said something about Jeremy.
I'm not sure what I can tell about
King.
Menindee. Marshall King, yeah, I did say. I think he's been our best player. We'll lose him next year.
Yeah, Marnie
That's
played
good.
well though. Marnie did play well.
Marnie's a good player. Like he's a genuine 9. I don't think people understand with Marshall King. He's a makeshift 9. Like he was a 6 coming up. You know, so like credit to him for working on his craft and getting better and better and better. And I think Wayne Bennett was probably getting the best Marshall King because he's sort of getting it in the last couple of years. He started in the last couple of years like every single game, getting used to the pace of the game. You know what I mean? It's hard for a back to come in and just play 9. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. So he's really worked on his game really hard. So it'll be good because we've got a genuine 9 next year with Marnie. But losing him, I don't think they really planned on losing him.
No,
They sort of, but he was probably thinking, I can start every game, or do I want to come off the bench? So he made a decision for himself and his family. So there's not really much I can tell about Wilcannia and Menindee, other than that it was freezing cold in the morning. It's like 2 degrees, but then like during the day it was beautiful. It was like 18 to 20 degrees like every day, which was really nice. So a bit different than down here. It was fucking freezing this morning.
yeah,
That was about it. There really wasn't that much to do. It was very enjoyable, very rewarding. I said it at the start of the show. I don't think I can really say that much more. But I can't wait to get out there again.
Well, and if everyone watching on YouTube, if you put the thing, I'm going to get someone to teach me how to respond to the YouTube comments too, because I don't know what's going on. But Zig will show me. So put those comments out there.
Finn will show you.
Mate, anyone can show me. So rate and review. We'll be back week to week from now on.
MasonsTake.com.au.
It's a Nigerian site.
They'll be following Willie more and more. Back in the NRL is Willie Mason.
I've forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Perhaps the presence of Willie at the the Panthers looking at his imposing frame.
I'm a 25-minute man. Plus. Oh, you got skill, son.
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you.
You've been listening to The Take with Willie Mason and co-host Ian Byrne. Produced by Craig Trewick, recorded and engineered by Zig Parker of Green Room Sydney, and presented by the Handshake Media Network.